Welcome back to Rick Answers His Email. I'm going to try to finish the rest of the emails for this week, and then we'll be back on the weekly schedule after this week. And the next one up today is from Beverly from Canada. She's wondering if I can talk a little bit more in the future about twittering. And I'm just learning about twittering myself on the new website at helpmerick.com. I'm posting my tweets. In a nutshell, twittering is just using your telephone, and you can even use your computer and email if you want, to just give short 140 character or less messages to people who follow you. Another term for it is microblogging, where you're just putting up your thoughts randomly up to a website. And just like anything else, more and more businesses are using it to announce products, give customers information about their particular services or products as well. You can follow anybody on Twitter either using email, your computer, or your cell phone if you want to get alerts that way. Sandra, the best way to find my videocast is to search for it, but make sure that you're searching for the single word videocast. Don't separate the words. It's one word, videocast, and you'll get all the videocasts. And also remember that all my videocasts are at youtube.com/casttv. That is the YouTube channel. Hey Aaron, I think you're making it way too complicated for sharing your high-speed connection. The internet connection sharing is really built for the old days of dial-up. Today what you want to do is go out and buy yourself a wireless router, and it'll have 4 ports to either connect 4 wired computers to the router to share the internet, or you can share wirelessly. It sounds like you have wireless already set up on the computer. So buy yourself a wireless router, set up the network through that. Do not use internet connection sharing. Margie, if you're using the AdAware, not AdWare, but AdAware as I suggested, you should be able to go to Add and Remove Programs, remove it from there. If you can't get rid of it because of this install log problem, reinstall AdAware. I have a link on my new website. It's right on the first page, AdAware, and then you can uninstall and uninstall the AdAware and then install the Kaspersky for yourself. Karen, the My Documents that you're referring to in both those places is the same folder. Windows XP just shows it to you in 2 or 3 different places to give you quicker access to it. The reason why it may not seem synchronized is because you might be viewing it as tiles in one spot and you might be viewing it as details in another. But if you look carefully at all the files in those 2 spots, they are exactly the same because it's a single folder just showing up twice. Bill, I've never shopped for that particular product, but I would check first at Microsoft Store. Go to Microsoft.com or go to Amazon.com and check that. The third place you might want to check is Newegg, N-E-W-E-G-G, Newegg.com, and one of those 3 spots should have your product. Doug, because you're using Windows Millennium, you're probably still using Internet Explorer 6, and that's why you're having this particular effect. If you download and use Mozilla Firefox, you'll always print just exactly the way you want. Or if you eventually get a new computer, you're going to have Internet Explorer 7, and the Internet Explorer 7 does the same thing Firefox does, which is formats a website for your printed page. Hosea, good point, and I did move the comments back into the sidebar. They were at the bottom of the website, but now they're at the sidebar like they used to be. Hello Nalish, thanks for writing, and you want to set up some security on your computers. The best thing to do for password protecting your folders is right-click, click to Sharing and Security, and when you go into the Sharing dialog box, it's going to give you an option on password protecting that particular folder for sharing. Now if you want to password protect it for somebody that's on your computer, not just the sharing, you're going to need a third-party utility for that. There's a couple of them out there. One of them is called TrueCrypt, T-R-U-E-C-R-Y-P-T, TrueCrypt, which will help you do that as well. Diane, I really like OpenOffice. For almost all of my work I use OpenOffice unless I absolutely have to use Microsoft Office, which is very rare. OpenOffice will do 99% of everything you need to do for spreadsheets, word processing, and even PowerPoint type presentations. For updating Real Player, if you don't need an update, if everything's working fine, don't update it. The only reason you'd want to update Real Player is if some particular website you're using often doesn't work with the old version any longer. For all AOL users, Michael, if you're using a high-speed connection, I would uninstall all AOL software through the Add Remove programs and then just use Firefox as your browser. And to access your email, just go to AOL.com and access your email through their web-based interface, which works pretty well. And in some cases, I think it might even work better than the AOL browser software and the old AOL email. But if you want to just disable their spyware protection, again, go to Add Remove Programs. AOL has an uninstaller for the spyware and security that they do sometimes provide. Ralph, what your friend is doing is using Office 2007 or Word 2007, which has given you this extension. They can do a save as and save it in a document format you can read, but for you, you can't convert it, but you can go to Microsoft.com and search for Word 2007 Viewer, and it'll give you a viewing program that you'll at least be able to view and look at the document and print it out if you need to. Hi Carrie, that is a strange problem indeed. If you've cleared web content, removed cache, temp files and all that, and still are only able to get to the old site from his particular computer, you didn't mention whether or not you tried a second browser, because that would be the ultimate test. Download and use either Opera or Firefox or Google Chrome and use it instead of Internet Explorer. See what website comes up on it. If the old website comes up on that, then there's something with his connection. Maybe the router's got some cache or something that's making him view the old version of the website. But I have a feeling that it is in Internet Explorer. The other thing you can do with it is go into Tools and Options, and under the Advanced tab, click Reset Internet Explorer, and that will delete everything and put everything back to square one. But do the test with a third-party browser and see what happens. Hello Martha, if you were on the old list, and it sounds like you were, you should be converted to the new Feed Blitz newsletter. And if you're not on that and you still want to get the new newsletter, go to my website, helpmerick.com, and I have the email newsletter link right there up towards the top of the page. Thank you for asking. Hello Neil, I think what you want to do is put your email on hold, and it depends on your internet provider, but most internet providers and email providers will have a hold or vacation function that you can put on your system, and usually it's done through a web-based interface, and you can put it on vacation, and then when someone sends you a message, it can automatically be kicked back to them saying, I'm on vacation, I'm not receiving new email at this time. And it depends on the system, but some have it, some don't. You need to ask your provider. Leo, thanks for the kind words, and I think what you're experiencing is for some reason in the page setup of your Firefox, you've got this little button unchecked. If you go to File and Page Setup, make sure that this button here is checked, shrink to fit the page width of your printout, and then your pages will shrink back again. That is usually checked by default. Sounds like it got unchecked in your case. Well, that's it for this edition of Rick Answers His Email. I'll be back again next week with more, and please make sure you visit the new helpmerick.com.